The internet and mobile devices such as the phone I'm recording on have enabled people to stay in bed way too long, or in my case, the couch. Even though I don't have a huge following, which I wouldn't expect from from say 10, 15, however many videos I put out, I did want to post an update about my next project. So the last project that I actually posted about, it was a 2000 model year Cummins, and that project turned out to be a little more difficult than I thought. Not necessarily for fixing the truck. There were a couple of things that were tough. There was a really nasty electrical issue. There was the frame is straight, but a radiator mount connected to the front of the frame on the driver's side was bent, and so the mechanic from my former job, he and I went out and we used a propane and oxygen torch to cut that little mount so we could bend it, because that thing did not want to bend. Like, those things have very, very rigid metal. So we finally, by heating it and pulling it with another truck, and heating it, pulling it with the truck, heating it and pulling it with the truck again and again, we finally got it like straight enough. So, but the biggest issue was not an actual repair, it was the logistics. I live in an apartment, which the rent's going up, so I'm moving into like a rental house. And I know financially it's not the greatest thing to rent, but my goal is to open a shop, and I don't know where that's going to be yet. So I'm not at the point in my life yet where I'm ready to commit to a house, because that's a big commitment. But I definitely want to get out of this apartment, because the Cummins, when I got it's a long bed, so it's huge, and then they can't fit a flatbed tow truck in, so I couldn't get into the apartment garage. So I'm like, oh shit, so what do I do? Well, I was keeping it at my job. I work at a shop. When I made the mistake, there was this manager, and I don't know, he for some reason didn't like me. I think I made him look stupid a couple of times or something, not on purpose, but like, trucks and cars, they've been my hobby since I was probably, the first books I could read were car-related stuff, magazines, books, whatever I get my hands on about cars, I'd read. So I never come into a shop acting like I know everything, but when a customer starts talking cars and trucks with me, I could go all day. I think that pissed this guy off. I don't really know what pissed him off. It doesn't really matter. But he was letting me keep my truck there, and I opened my mouth. I'm like, hey, man, I was going to do a little bit more work on the truck and get out there. And because I was keeping it in their parking lot, nobody had fucking noticed till I said something. I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have said nothing. They got all panicked. So I made a split-second decision. What I did, by the way, my girlfriend bought me this coffee. This thing is really good. It's a cold brew. I'm having trouble getting up this morning, so I figured I'd update. Okay. So, what was I saying? I was talking about, so I had to move the truck. And the only place I could think of was my boat storage. Because if you go to, if you just rent a regular storage spot, say Extra Space or something, that's the crazy thing. Anytime I've been in one of those places, they stink. They put so much freaking, what's the word, bleach or cleaner inside. They don't let you work on stuff there. So what I did is I have a boat that's in a dry storage by a lake that nobody ever bothers you up there. So what I did is I went up there, I took my boat, put it in a regular storage space. I was lucky they gave me the first month free, and I actually only did use the first month. So that sort of imposed a deadline to get the truck running, the first Dodge, the Blackwood. And so let me think for a minute. So I got that. I put the Dodge where my boat was, and I was able to work on it there. But anyway, that logistical thing, that was sort of put a deadline, and that's why I didn't, record more, because I wanted to go more in detail. There's not a whole lot. There's some good information about, like, salvage stuff, rebuilding salvage, and there's plenty of diesel content. But I live in Texas, and I wanted to go into more detail about how you buy something at an auction, what do you do. Well, anyway, the project, the word I'm thinking of, the purpose of today's video is project number 3. So first was the Cummins that you saw. Second was the Lincoln Town Car I built that I didn't post nothing about that. Number 3 is a 12 valve. I'm excited. I'm not ignorant, because I'm a little nervous. That always goes together. But tomorrow I'm flying out to, it's weird, I'm trying to look at the camera, and then it's so distracting, this phone. Like I said, I want to post more just to show people how to do more, like salvage stuff, just, about my projects, because, y'all could probably learn something from me, and, if we get a good discussion going, I'm sure I can learn a ton. I spend a ton of time trying to learn shit about trucks. Anyway, so I'm flying up to, where am I flying? Indiana? No, I'm sorry, South Dakota. I'm flying to South Dakota to pick up a 12 valve Cummins for my next project. It runs, according to the video, that was time stamped or date stamped May 11th. In case it doesn't run, I have a lithium pack, lithium jump start pack. I'm actually taking a risk this time. What I'm doing is I'm flying up there, and I was gonna rent a car, rent a hotel. And my dad's like, "Man, just go try to drive the truck, get the hell out of that." It's a small town. It's from Insurance Auto Auctions. It's by Sioux Falls, South Dakota, which is the actual little town's called Lennox, Lennox, and basically my dad's like, "Man, if that thing runs, just go to Omaha, just get it out of the place." And also, so I'm bringing a suitcase with tools, I'm bringing a fuel filter. I learned yesterday, it's a hard fuel filter. It's not like that little fuel water separator that the 24 valves have. So I'm going to bring an extra filter, obviously a filter wrench, basic wrenches. My buddy, he knows more about cars than I do, told me to bring hose clamps. So I'm going to bring a hose clamp in case some shit flies off the intercooler or something. You never know. I'm bringing that, and what else? Wrenches. Has to be under, I think, 40 pounds. I'm bringing wrenches, sockets, every socket. I'm bringing a 3/8 snap-on with adapters, and then just sockets, and that's basically it. So give me a thumbs up or comment or whatever if you made it this far, and I'll try to get some good footage, because this one at least runs. It does have a clean title, and I know there are people who say be careful buying auction cars or salvage cars with clean titles, but I'm actually okay with this because it can be a major. I had to go to 2 different tax offices to get my salvage vehicle, my town car, registered. The first truck, I bought a bonded title, which was a mistake. I didn't need to do that. In Texas, all you got to do is I could post the form number. I don't remember exactly which one it is, but you basically just make a list of the repairs you did and just have some receipts, make it look official, but this is a clean title. And then what that means is I can go to the Texas website and register, get a temporary plate. They have 2 options. They have one that's like a 144-hour permit, and I think the other's a 72-hour permit. So that's 6 days, and then whatever, 72 divided by 12 is 6, and then so that's a 3-day permit and a 6-day permit. And so my plan, I'm gonna drive it, like get this thing running. Says it runs. I might have to change, a tire or get some fresh batteries or maybe add coolant. Who knows? Maybe even change the oil. But my goal is I'll have a 6-day permit from Texas. I'm gonna drive around the country. You obviously have to get insurance, but I'm gonna drive around the country. And then when I get it back home, depending on what it needs, I'll do some repairs. But my goal, I've traveled in Europe, I've traveled all over, but I want to travel in the States. So I'm gonna record this journey. Hopefully, it'll get a little attention. Maybe somebody would be interested in seeing this truck. I've talked to a couple guys I know who I've talked to about this, like, 12 valve. So finally I get to figure out what all the hype's about. So stay tuned for more.